So, what was Queen T like as a student, like before the production?
Before, like you mean like in high school, college?
Yeah, like coming up, like how would you say people describe you as a student? Like what was your interest in school before you got into what you got into now?
In high school, I never took high school really serious. I wasn't bad or anything. Wasn't really studious. I was really late. I was late to class a lot. I just kind of did what I had to do to kind of, pass. But I did have good grades, but I wasn't really interested in like anything like particular as far as like schoolwork. Like I knew like in school that I wanted to do something hands-on entertainment. I went to school for engineering. I went to that school just because it was a school that was one of the best in Buffalo, and my mom wanted me to go, and I just kind of just did the work, but I wasn't interested in none of the work like engineering, like building buildings, bridges. Like I'm like, okay, whatever. But I did it. When I was in high school, I wasn't really into it. I kind of lost interest in video. But when it was time for me to apply to college and stuff, I went back to doing everything video and production and stuff. I felt like, that was my time to kind of start doing it again. I couldn't really do it in high school because of, it wasn't really nothing extra I can do like after school that had anything to do with video. So if I didn't go to that school, the Buffalo Performing Arts, it was like, what can I do? It was nothing I could really do. I could have did something, I guess, on my own, but I just wasn't really thinking that way. I just kind of thought like, all right, well, I ain't go to that school.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah. So when you were doing the engineering, you mean like in high school or was it college?
High school.
High school, okay.
In college, I did media production.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I got to college, I was into media, I was into videos, all that.
And you went to school in Buffalo?
I went to school, I went to school in Morgan State, which is in Baltimore, which is HBCU. Got too expensive. I'm like, I can't be in debt like this. Like, I'm setting myself up crazy. Like, so I'm gonna just go back home. I only went to Buffalo State for my last year of school though. Yeah. So, my last 2 years of school. So, that was better for me. I just felt like financially, like, if I could just get the same education, as long as I get the diploma, like I can learn everything I need to learn on my own afterwards. And that was my whole idea with that. Like, I don't need to stay at a $25,000 college just to say I went there. You know what I mean? When I first went there, that's how I was feeling. Like, I want to leave. Buffalo is trash. I'm trying to go somewhere else. And then when I got there, I'm looking at the money. I didn't have too many like scholarships or anything. Maybe like something real low. So I'm like, nah, I can't be in debt like this.
Yeah. So
I had to just apply to go back home, and I just stayed, communicate with people. I didn't really want to network like I should have.
Yeah.
And I think it was just because of just the change of the environment. Like people were definitely different than people from Buffalo. Like, I think the one thing that kind of like threw me off was like, in Buffalo, like I said, Buffalo was like, always 10 years, 15 years behind and everything.
Yeah.
Came down there, Rockaware, Baby Fat, whatever I had going on. And they're like, yeah, you still wear Baby Fat? Like Puerto Ricans, like Puerto Ricans wear that. I was like, what? Like when I heard that, it just crushed me. Like, I thought I was fly at the time, so it's just like it was just different people. So I had to kind of get adjusted to that aspect of like having all this like, clothes that I thought was dope, at the time being younger, and, people was looking at me crazy, and at the time me being young, it was like, I cared about what people thought. So it was like, okay, now I gotta change what I'm wearing, I gotta kind of get different. But I think, me going to Morgan helped me be a diverse person. I think that if I stayed in Buffalo for school, or if I went straight to college, like just from in Buffalo, I think I would be a different person. I think that maybe be more diverse to see what's out there other than Buffalo, like more out there in the world and what's going on, and you know, really tapped in to what's going on out here. You know, because Buffalo will trap you if you don't travel and if you don't know like what's really out there. Like you'll be trapped.
Yeah. So you know, kind of talk about the process from, you know, going through the whole major and, you know, graduating and, you know,